So, I'm nervous because it's like 8 o'clock. It's a Sunday, and tomorrow morning, I am going to take my knowledge test to get my learner's permit. I also know that there's almost nothing on YouTube about what happens when you go to get your learner's permit, which I thought would have been really helpful. So I'm gonna vlog it. I'm gonna basically tell you everything that happens, how I felt, what we did, step by step, super detailed, but I'm gonna try to make it fun because nobody's gonna watch a 15-minute video otherwise. I haven't vlogged in a while, so I'm sorry if it's really bad. So, according to my father, who is an expert in all things paperwork, you need your birth certificate, your social security card, a bank statement, basically to prove that you do money exchanges in the US, a tax return, which for me, I can find my tax return, but if you don't have a tax return for yourself, your parents' tax returns should have your name on it, so you just ask them for it. And then a letter from the school or the county basically saying you're not a creep and you're mentally stable enough to learn how to drive, which I don't know how I got one of those letters. So then what you need is a lot of practice. Now, there is the driver's ed manual, which it's different for every state, but ours is 56 pages long. I read through the whole thing, and then you want to read through the biggest sections again, like road crossings, drug and alcohol use, restrictions, and then especially what to do in not the best conditions, like if it's rainy or sleeting or snowing or foggy or anything like that, or at night. That was really helpful for me.
That's NBA's list.
Thank you. Bye. You can leave now. But I would recommend reading over the whole thing just in case, because there was some little stuff I didn't know. And then also like road signs, because there are some of those road signs that I had never seen before. Like, did you know that stoplights can turn pink? I didn't even know that was a thing, but apparently some of them can. And you want to know a lot about the drug and alcohol part, which, if you're a clean kid like me, you would never do drugs or alcohol. But you still need to know it because you need to answer the questions on the test. And because it's become a bigger and bigger issue, there's more and more of those types of questions on the test. So definitely make sure you know. Like, random fact, 0.08 blood alcohol content is considered a DUI. And 0.02 can double your risk of a crash. Those were two questions that were on the practice tests that I just finished taking. So taking practice tests is amazing, in my opinion. And the DMV has a lot of practice tests that you can use, ranging from easy to hard. So I took like 5 practice tests. I think I spent like 3 hours on it. And I got an 85 average on all of those tests, and you need an 80 to pass. So hopefully that means tomorrow I'll pass. I'm not sure how accurate these are. I've been told they're not that accurate to the actual test, but we'll see. Yeah, I hope they are. Also, just listening to your parents on the road and asking questions I found is very useful, because there's things that I never noticed on the road that I started noticing after I started taking the practice tests. And then here's some tips that I've been told that I'm going to put into practice. 1, go to bed early. 2, have a nice big breakfast planned, even if you don't typically eat breakfast. Because 3, when you get there, you're going to have to wait in a really, 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 really long line, which everybody kind of knows because it's the DMV. It has a history. But even if you have an appointment, it can still take up to 5 hours. So make sure you eat before, which I'm going to do. And then 4th, I've been told a lot to bring gum, because you're not allowed to bring food. And also bring water, because if you're dehydrated, your brain doesn't work right. And they don't have water inside the DMV available for you to drink. People could die in there. What I've been told happens is you just wait in a long line, go up to the front, you give them all your information, tell them you're here for the knowledge test, they give you a ticket, you go sit down until your ticket number's called, you go take a computer test, and then you walk out, you sit in another line, they tell you if you passed or not, and then you go home. Now, 2 very helpful things I have heard about the test itself. 3. 1, it's on a computer, not paper. 2, if you make a mistake, you can't go back. So once you click an answer, you can't change it whatsoever. So just double checking all of your answers is something I'm gonna do. And then 3 is if it cuts you off before you reach the 30th question, that's actually a good thing because you can get 6 questions wrong and still pass. So if you get to 28, then that means and it stops you, that means you've only gotten 4 or less wrong. And even if you get the last 2 wrong, it's not going to matter, so they don't make you answer the questions. So I'm definitely going to see if that's true tomorrow, so we will find out together.
Water.
Got a lot of stuff. Hopefully I don't need a mask, but we'll see. Oh, I'm so nervous.
Okay, so we got that. Oh, they moved the information. McGraw? McGraw, McGraw.
Got a ticket.
So, listen to me.
Okay, so a couple little notes. The dogs are being very loud. I only needed my social security number, my birth certificate, and my dad's ID. But I would say still bring the rest of it just in case. There's 3 of me. And then second, the computer test itself was not that hard. It was easier than most of the practice tests, actually. Some of the questions were really dumb. Just like, after you've passed someone, how long should you wait until you get back into the lane? 5 feet, 2 miles, or you can see their headlights in your rearview mirror. The other 2 made no sense, so rearview mirror, even though that was in the handbook. I didn't need the handbook for that because common sense. So honestly, I think y'all will do fine. If you want some more details about what actually goes on the computer, basically, you go into a room, they stamp your little sheets that they hand you at the first desk, and then there's a whole bunch of computers. You go sit down at whatever number they tell you to. My number was 5. And then the computer is already set up. All you have to do is answer a practice question, which mine was 2 + 2 is what, right? So you click the answer. It says, are you sure? You click yes, and it tells you if you're right or not. And then at the bottom, there's a whole bunch of different things showing you how many questions are left, how many questions you've answered, how many you got right or wrong. And then for Maryland, it's actually 25 questions, and you can only get 4 wrong. So I was stopped on question 24 because I got 2 wrong before that. And so I passed. Okay, I passed it. Look at it. I have a license. I always get in trouble for doing this in the van, but like...